Want to crochet your very first hat without any confusing joins or fancy stitches? In this video, I'll show you how to make a simple cozy beanie using only half double crochet worked in a smooth spiral, so even complete beginners can follow along and finish a hat today. Hi, it's Krista at The Secret Yarnery. Today we're making the easiest hat for absolute beginners. If you can make a chain and half double crochet, you can make this hat. I'll walk you through every step from the very first loop to a finished beanie that actually fits. Before we get into yarns and hooks, comment below and tell me, are you a total beginner or have you made a scarf or two already? So to make this super easy crochet hat for absolute beginners, you're going to need yarn, just one ball of worsted weight acrylic yarn. You'll also need a crochet hook. I'm using a size 6mm crochet hook with my size 4 worsted weight yarn. You'll also need a needle for sewing in one end and a pair of scissors. Here are the timestamps. You can jump back into where you left off, and let's get started. To make your very first crochet hat, it's super easy. We're just going to start by making a chain, and we're going to make the chain just to go around your head, just where your hat normally would. To make your very first crochet hat, or the easiest crochet hat for beginners, we're just going to start by making a chain. So make a slip knot and shrink it down, pop it onto your hook, and for my size, I'm chaining 65. 1, 2, 3. Just want to make a chain that reaches around your head when you pull it snug. Crochet is going to stretch, so make it a little smaller or pull it to make it fit, not just a relaxed fit. You'll end up with a really huge hat. So pull it around your head, and that's the right stitch count for you. So here's our pretty little V's. We want to slide those to the side, and we want to be looking for our back loops. The first one is right underneath the working yarn. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of those are your back loops. We want to go into the second back loop right here. So just slide that second back loop onto your hook and make one single crochet. So bring the yarn back, 2 loops on your hook, wrap and take off both loops. Into the next back loop right here, we're going to make one single crochet. And now we're going to do half double crochets. So into each back loop, we're going to make one half double crochet. So half double crochet is the same as single crochet, except we're wrapping our yarn before we start. So wrap your yarn, slide that back loop on, bring your yarn back through, push everything up onto the fat part of your hook, wrap your yarn, and take off all 3 loops. So that is a half double crochet. We're going to do that into each back loop all the way along. So we bring our yarn back, wrap. I'm going to pinch that stitch right underneath this loop right here. I'm pinching to hold that stitch nice and tall, and then take off all 3 loops. So wrap your yarn, slide the next back loop on, grab your yarn and bring it back, slide everything up on the fat part of your hook, pinch underneath that last loop right here, wrap, turn your hook so it's facing down, and slide off all 3 loops. So we're going to do that into each back loop all the way along our chain. So wrapping your yarn, going into that back loop, grabbing your yarn and bringing it back, pushing everything up on the fat part of your hook, grabbing your yarn, turning your hook, and taking off all 3 loops. So pause the video, keep working along. This takes a bit of time. So this is the slowest that the hat is going to be. So just work along, one half double crochet into each back loop all the way along, and I'll meet you at the end of your row right over here. At the end of your row, make sure you get into that very last back loop, that last chain with your half double crochet. And now lay out your work like a little train track. So it's all, the pretty side is facing up, like this. And we want to look for the very first stitch we made, which is right here. We're going to work right into that stitch. So we're going to do a half double crochet into that stitch. It's a bit awkward to get going, but wrap your yarn, and I'm just holding it on my hook, finding that very first stitch, and we're just going to make a half double crochet into this first stitch. So just bringing the yarn back, everything up, wrapping, and taking off all 3 loops. Just like that. And now we're going to keep going, 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way around. So the good thing about this pattern, there's no joining, there's no turning your work, there's no stepping up. We're just working in a really nice spiral all the way around. So keep going, 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way around, and I'll meet you when you get to this area here, just so you can see how we navigate it right there. When you reach back to our join area, just work into every stitch. Let's hold the bottom edge together. We are going to join this, but I'm going to join it later, just so we can make sure it has a good tension. So wrap your yarn and into the next stitch, 1 half double crochet. And into this stitch at the join, I'm just holding it together and going into that same stitch at the join and making 1 half double crochet. And 1 half double crochet into the next stitch. And each stitch all the way around. So now we are already into the spiral pattern. Next time you come around to the join, it won't bother you at all. It's all just going to be regular stitches. And now you can pause it. So you can pause the video and keep working around, 1 half double crochet into each stitch, even when you get back to where our join is, making about 22 rows or until you've almost run out of yarn. The more rows you do, the more brim you'll have to roll up when you are finished. So pause the video and make about 22 rows, and I'll meet you back. So I've done 22 rows and I'm almost finished my ball of yarn. And you just want to end in the same area as our join down here. So if you just follow up that join, this is where we're going to end up. It doesn't have to be exact. It's no big deal. Just the same area as we started, where that opening is. Now for this last round, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to chain 1, skip 1. So we're skipping a stitch and we're going to work into the second stitch with our half double crochet. So chaining 1, skipping 1, and half double crochet into the second. We're just making little spaces to gather up our hat at the top. So chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet into the second stitch. We're going to do this all the way around until we get back to this area right here. So you can pause the video, keep working around, chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet into the second stitch, all the way around, and I'll meet you when you get back to this area right over here. When you get back to where we began, we're just going to chain 1 and pull that yarn through. You can cut your tail if your yarn is still long, and snug that down. And now we are ready to cinch up the top of our hat. Now we're ready to cinch up the top of our hat. So just grab 2 strands of yarn, the same color as your hat, and thread those tails onto your yarn needle. And now we're just going to go under and over, just weaving our needle back and forth underneath those boxes we just made. Just make sure you don't pull your tail all the way through. And just work your way around, going under and over these boxes, just to cinch up the top of our hat. Just like that. And now we can shrink that up and make a hockey tie skate knot, or a hockey skate knot. So just like a regular knot, and we're going to do it one more time before we pull. So it's wrapped around like that, and then pull it really snug. The hockey skate knot is going to not let that yarn slip back, just like that. So the top of our hat is nice and closed, and knot it again. I'm going to get that guy out of the way. There we are. knot it again. Really nice. We can knot our first tail, or the last tail actually, with the same yarn. So everything is knotted. This is the outside of our hat. So we can just poke our crochet hook up into the center of our hat, or wherever our tails are, as close to where our tails are as possible. And just bring those tails to the underside of your hat. And we can knot them again on the inside of our hat. Like that, and we can cut them off. Now we just have one tail left, just to join up around the brim of our hat. So I've threaded that tail onto my needle, and we just want to go underneath that first stitch we made, or that first chain, and then back down into the stitch where it came from. I'm just using the blunt end of my needle. I just want to pull it shut. And now we can sew in our tail. You want to sew in your tail up and down the stitches, not across, because it will ruin the stretch of your hat along the brim. So just want to go up and down a stitch a few times, and making sure you're not pulling too tight. We want our edge of our hat to stay nice and straight, like that. And now we can just cut off that tail. And now you have just made your first crochet beanie hat that fits perfectly, is so cute, and is totally customizable. So take a moment to congratulate yourself on making your very first hat. It is so super cute, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what colors you used in the comments, and thanks for watching. I'm waiting for you in the next tutorial right up there. Stay hooked.